Hello and welcome to another video on Adobe Photoshop. And today we're going to be talking about the main tools of the Adobe Photoshop tool. So let's get on with it. So in the first video, when I talked about the interface and showed you some features of it, I told you that these tools over here are basically the main tools of Adobe Photoshop. So they're pretty vital in this tool because you can edit anything using these tools and put some effects or colors, and you can also know about the color coordinates or what kind of color they are, and you can basically edit one thing from another using that coordinate using the main tools over here. So let's not delay anymore and let's begin with the first tool, which is known as the move tool. So before talking about the tools, let me clear out one more thing is that you can use this small arrow on the top left corner of the toolbars. You can use it to expand the window of the main tools like this, or you can keep it in a single row manner like this. It's up to you. And so this feature has been mainly added for the customizers preference table or workspace, so go crazy. And then we're going to be talking about the tools, but I want to tell you something more, that the tools that have these small arrow signs over here like this and this and this, these tools have multiple tools inside them. For example, you can see that this is a move tool, but when you click and hold on it, you will see that you will also get an artboard tool. Like this, you can also see that this is a elliptical mark tool, and when I click on it and hold it, you will get three other tools: the rectangular mark tool, the single bow mark tool, the single column mark tool. So these are some of the information that I wanted to provide to you since we're going to be talking about the main tools over here right now. Now let's talk about the move tool over here. So the move tool is pretty simple, and the hotkey for the move tool is the key V on your keyboard. So let me show you how to actually use this tool. So let me give you another information that when you open a picture or any component that you want to edit on, you first have to enable the edit mode in the layer panel over here. And to enable it, you simply have to click on this lock icon over here. So this basically refers that this layer will be unlocked when you click on this icon. So let me click on it, and as you can see that it was named background before, but now it's layer. So that's because I have enabled the edit mode right now, and when I use this tool to move it around, I won't get the pop-up message again. You understand? So let me show you that if I move it like this, I will get a transparent view in the background. And this is to indicate that in here there are no pixels or anything, and this will be black if I print this picture out or save it or upload it or export it. So I have to make sure that my picture or my component that I'm working on is aligned with the background over here, and this is what the selection tool is for. You can also use some cutout images or some cutout components that you're using from another image. You can simply use the move tool to drag it here from there. So the move tool is basically the tool that you will use to move around the component or the objects that you want to actually work with. So this is basically how you can move around, and Adobe Photoshop comes with a guide also, and this is the guide. The line that you can see, that pink or purple line, that means the guiding line. This is the alignment line of the Adobe Photoshop preview window. So you can simply see that when there is a transparency available, there is no line. It basically indicates that you should put it in a safer place or a better place, and this is not aligned right now. So when I actually align this, you will see that both the lines and the middle line has appeared, which is informing me that it is in the right place right now because the alignment has been successfully equal. So now let's talk about another tool, which is the artboard tool. So basically when you're using this tool and there are some other sub tools inside them, and you can see that the hotkeys for both of them are V, and it's because when you're selecting one tool over here, you can see that my mouse cursor changes to black color and there are a four-sided arrow icon over there. So now if I click V on my keyboard again, you will see that my cursor will be changed to the artboard tool, and if I click on V again, it will change to the move tool. So you can use this to actually use the hotkey to work efficiently. So let's talk about the artboard tool, and this is basically the artboard tool, and this helps you to crop one picture and work with them or any other pictures that you want. For example, I'm going to cut out this option over here like this. Yep. And as you can see that I have cropped out the picture. Now there is another feature in artboard tool, and that is this adding icons over here. You cannot only just create a artboard, you can create multiple artboards around it to work more efficiently. So this has been applied here by the Premiere Pro app. Basically it came here from there. It was introduced in the Premiere Pro tool in the first place, and this is very efficient to work with. If I click on this icon over here, I can create another artboard, and you can see that this is artboard 1, this is artboard 2, and I can create as much as I want like this. It's pretty easy to work like this with many artboards and many components. I can crop another one and click over here to give it another component, and I can work in both of them efficiently. So I'm going to undo all of this right now. Yep. And as you can see that there is some transparency available over here, and I'm going to align it right now again. Yep, like that. Yes. So now let's move on to the next tool, which which is the shape tool. So basically when you click on it, there will be four options. One is the rectangular mark tool, elliptical mark tool, single row mark tool, single column mark tool. So when I select the rectangular column mark tool, I can create a rectangle shape over here by simply creating a box like this. So when I do this, I can cut this option or deselect or select inverse. So I can basically create a new layer using this option, only using the part of the component that I've selected inside the box. And I can also create a layer via copy or a cut. So let me use the cut option over here like this. And as you can see that this position has been cut. Okay, so when I click on this, you will see that only this is available here. But when I click on this and this, both of them are available here. But when I use this one to hide, you will see that there is nothing over here because I just created that shape to cut out this component from the picture. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to undo what I just did, and now I'm going to talk about the elliptical mark tool. So this is basically the tool with a circle shape like this, and you can cut out a view from here like this. And now what I can do is I can cut it out, and as you can see that there is a circle line over here, which means or indicates that this is another layer over here because another layer has been created over here. And if you're still not clear about the layer properties, we're going to talk about it in a next video, so stay tuned. Now when I click on this icon, this actually hides one of the layers, and as you can see that this layer I was using it, and then I cut out this face or this component from there, which created another layer. So when I undo this layer or hide it, you will see that you won't be able to see it over here right now because you need this layer to see it over here. So you're creating a composition using this. And if I hide this one, you will only see this part over here. And now you can use the move tool to move it around in any way you want, like that. So if you even want, you can move the picture like this or put it over here like this. It's all on you what you want to do. So that's up to you. Now let's talk about the single row mark tool. But before that, let me undo what I am doing right now so that I don't mess up the whole project over here. Yep. So now what we can do is we can create another shape over here using the single row mark tool. So now when I'm actually creating a shape over here using the single row mark tool, you can see that what I only can do is create a small amount because it only takes 1 pixel because it is known as the single row mark tool. So what you can do is basically you can change the tolerance of this. So I'm going to show you how to change the tolerance. So now let's talk about the single column mark tool, and you can use it to create a column over here like this and edit it any way you want. So that's about the shape tool. So now let's talk about the lasso tool. So the lasso tool is basically the core tool which is basically used to advancedly crop pictures or move it from one place to another. So let me show you what the lasso tool is capable of. So for example, I want to cut some parts of this picture out like this. So I'm going to make sure that I can cut out this part of the picture. So as you can see that you have basically have to create a line like this. Okay, I just messed up. Create a line like this by dragging and holding the left mouse button of your mouse, and then this is the edge that you will be able to cut out over here. So for example, I'm cutting it out like this. Yep. And that is enough for my cutting position right now, and as you can see that it has been cut, and I can basically create a layer using this by cutting it. And as you can see that I've got a layer like this. I've cut down this part only from the whole picture. So you can basically cut out a part from the picture in any way you want like this. So right now what I can also do is I can use the move tool and I can move this part away from here and put it in another place. So as you can see that it's pretty to use the add a Photoshop lasso tool. And now do you get it why I call lasso tool one of the most vital tool of the add of Photoshop? So now let's talk about the polygonal lasso tool. So before that, let me undo what I just did like that. So now let's talk about the polygonal lasso tool. So the polygonal lasso tool works as a lasso tool but in a different way. It creates a straight line and creates an anchor point on each points that you want to stop or create a line or end the line. So let me show you. For example, I click here and then I create another line over here, and then I click here creating an anchor point right now, and I click again creating another anchor point like this. I have been creating anchor point by clicking constantly wherever I want the line to end like this. So this is a straight line. You have to use the anchor point and create another line according to your needs. So this is basically how you crop pictures in out of Photoshop in any way you want. So the lasso tool will basically help you to achieve this in any way you would like that. So I'm going to show you how it will look when I actually cut it down. So wait for it. But remember that you always have to use your mouse to create an anchor point, because if you don't create an anchor point, it will only go in a straight line like this. So if you don't create an anchor point, you won't be able to curve it or take it in another way or align it to the length or the base that you want like this. So now that I have done creating a point, I can use it to cut layer via cut. So now as you can see that this position has been cut in a much more efficient way that I have been used. So now I can also move it like this, as you can see. So this is how you can basically cut out a part of the picture from a content using Adobe Photoshop. So now let me undo what I just did. Yes. And now let's talk about the magnetic lasso tool. So the magnetic lasso tool is basically very interesting. So the magnetic lasso tool is basically the most interesting tool over here and the most easiest one because it automatically detects the edge of the component that you're trying to cut out or edit in the content that you're editing. So for example, I simply need to drag out or hold the left mouse button and make sure that I move my cursor along the edge of the part that I want to cut out. So for example, I want to cut this girl out from the picture. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold and click the left mouse button, and then I'm going to start dragging the line by creating anchor point and let the Adobe Photoshop detect the edge of the component that I want to cut out. So let's begin. So I'm going to click, as you can see, and there begins the edge lining over here. You gotta be careful about it because as you can see that it is working to its best use, and there is the edge lines over here which it's basically detecting itself. You simply gotta be careful to move the cursor from the line like this, and you will see that the Adobe Photoshop will detect the edges very efficiently, and you don't even have to use the other lasso tools or customize them because you have to do them manually using the other lasso tools. But using magnetic lasso tool, you don't have to do it like that. You can basically do it easily and let Adobe Photoshop detect the edges of the component that you're working on. So this is how you can basically edit something easily and cut it out and put it in another place like this. So now what I can do is I can cut it out, and you will see that this portion that I will cut out which be much more better than the last time that I've cut it out. So let me move it and show you like this. So as you can see that the picture that I've cut out, it's perfectly cut out. So you won't even notice it when I put this picture in another picture using the same background or the color, right? So ladies and gentlemen, that is the magnetic lasso tool, one of the most important tool in Adobe Photoshop. So that's it for the lasso tool, and in the next video we're going to be talking about the other tools, so stay tuned.